At the Balmain Town Hall last night, Transport for New South Wales Coordinator Howard Collins fronted up to face the wrath.
I came here by bus and I intend to leave by bus, if not an ambulance.
Locals are apoplectic at the new underground road system, the absolute calamity that is WestConnect's Rozelle's Spaghetti Junction interchange.
How is the drive going?
Too long.
The 16.6-kilometre network cost taxpayers about $4 billion to construct, and it's been infuriating drivers since it opened to the public last week.
How are you finding the traffic this morning?
Terrible.
Intended to reduce travel times between Sydney's west and the CBD, it's actually increased them by about an hour or more.
It used to take me about half an hour to get to work in the eastern suburbs. Now it's taken me up to an hour and 20 minutes so far.
It's just impossible. It's impossible to get to work.
Poor signage and challenging driving conditions, like 10 lanes merging into 4, are just some of the concerns.
Can't get off the peninsula, can't get onto Anzac Bridge, the mergers don't work, the bus lane is confusing. Going to the M4, which is out here, you go to the left. Going to the M8, you go to the right. People are confused.
Inner West resident Rebel Wilson is among the critics.
I literally was just at one traffic lights for almost 30 minutes.
I've had to get a helicopter to work because of the traffic at the Rozelle interchange.
Some experts are now calling for a royal commission into the disaster. And at last night's crisis talks, locals weren't exactly convinced when told traffic flow was mildly improving.
This morning, for the first time, we did see a reasonable amount of movement. Why is that? It is
From home.
And they took no solace from the suggestion the project is fundamentally flawed.
So what we're dealing with then, potentially, we may have a structural problem that actually can't be addressed without major surgery.
And they were simply thrilled when told traffic relief will come when the Western Sydney Harbour Tunnel opens in the year
2028.
2028?
Yeah, I know.
You're kidding me, are you? We can't get out of our streets now.
I'll call the meeting to order. I'll call the meeting to order.
Yeah, there's some breaking news, by the way. The Minns government has just announced they've just ordered 100,000 helicopters. So that should get around this problem between now and 2028.
You would not want to be that man. You would be anyone else in the world except for that man in that room at that time.
For fronting up to the public and just taking the abuse for an hour or whatever it was.
But you guys are Sydney side. Like, is it actually this disastrous?
It absolutely is. Yes. There are people every single day who are having to deal with this. I've had both experiences with this, to be totally honest. It isn't an intuitive thing, and I think anything that's new you have to get used to. But I have had the experience of leaving the city, trying to head west, and I'm wanting to turn towards Rozelle, and you have to be in the far left lane. And if you don't understand that, then you've got about 6 lanes of traffic to get through to get over to that left-hand side. Otherwise, you end up somewhere else. So it is tricky. But I've also had the experience of coming back home from the airport and it only taking me 15 minutes.
Oh,
so
wow.
there is...
But not at peak time.
Not at peak time. That's the other thing. And these, I'm so sympathise. I also live in the area and have had to put up with the noise of that construction for the last couple of years or last few years. So all of those concerns are valid. I don't know that the solution is necessarily to just sit and wait. Like, that is not a solution. And there is all this talk about traffic evaporation, which is saying eventually some people are just going to stop going and then it will all level out. That's not a solution.
It'll improve because people get so annoyed at it that they avoid it completely.
And this is what's cooked up all these conspiracy theories. There's genuinely a belief that no one could have stuffed this up so badly, so therefore there must be some other secret agenda, like trying to drive people off the roads and everything. So that'll run. In fairness, anyone who's been to Sydney, they're not familiar with Sydney, at some stage will find themselves going across the Harbour Bridge or through the tunnel when they weren't expecting to. They've taken some to, oh my God, I'm now going across the bridge. And once you get used to it, of course, it's a straightforward system. But maybe we'll get used to this. But
disaster.